international kids were coming here and were being used by houses based on their talent, where the houses weren't really caring about who they are, who they were. They would just see them online and see them like, oh, this is a fab bitch. Let me reach out to them. And because I have a fab house name in the US, the people are gonna join. And I started dealing with like some of the kids coming to me and be like, oh, I came all the way here to New York and my house hasn't taken no time to get to know me or like putting no time. And sometimes not all houses do that, but some houses do that. So after hearing that all the time, I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to create my own and not do it on a ballroom standard. I wanted to literally stick to having a house that was more family oriented and more like family driven, as to where a lot of the houses now, they're more competitive. They can be family oriented, but the main thing is competing. And I just wanted to just go back to the roots of why houses were created in the first place. We didn't have a place of love, and we didn't have a place to be celebrated, and we didn't have those people within our real family. So we looked into, a chosen family. And I feel like that's something that's important. And a lot of the people in this generation, they don't keep that alive.
You don't think back? I want to piggyback on something you said about houses using the other people from other countries. You don't think the other countries use people too? Because if they be like, if they'll see you, like they'll say, for instance, let's say Courtney Balenciaga, right? But I vote down at every board. Just the part of that I vote down, they would want to be a part of the house,
Hmm.
not knowing that I don't even care about the house. I'm just here.
Hmm. But see, that's the
You
difference.
don't know.
That's the
You don't notice
difference
that they.
because that's the difference of learning who you're educating. Some of these people, they're only coming here because of their own gainings, and those are not the people that I bring into the culture. Those are the people that it's like, okay, bitch, you could take a class, but I'm not gonna sit here and school you on ballroom because you don't care about ballroom. You can tell by the way these people talk. You can tell when someone wants to deal with the scene because they are inspired by the culture, and you can tell when some of these people want to be here because they're inspired by the ballroom thing. And I feel like it's up to all of us to
Right.
understand that before we open those doors to people. I've learned that on my own. I've learned from my own mistakes when it came to my house. I've had so many kids in the house of Amazon that have used me for free classes. They've used me to become teachers. They've used me for all of these things, and I didn't see that because I was so trying to be open hearted and be so caring and so open. So I've learned from my mistake. I've learned to take my time to actually get to know these people and what are their motives.
All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. What's next for the house of Amazon? Because I don't be seeing. I don't like. What's next for the house of Amazon?
I don't know. We just had so much going on last year with the house. Like I was explaining how, I found out about a lot of these frauds. So, we've been cleaning the house. As far as my kids, they've been really eager to walk, but I've been kind of hesitant because I don't want my kids to walk a ball and then I'm not there and then they have to deal with all this shade and all this bullshit and have nobody to like protect them or like to speak up for them. And that's kind of hard because I'm not at every function. I would love to be at every function, but sometimes the bitch is busy or
But
you get over it.
but isn't that what made you stronger by the words that people try to use to tear you down and gave you a chance to prove yourself? Didn't that what make you stronger? So you don't want to use. You don't think that method would work on them as well?
I think it's different. When I came into the scene, I was more so like a lot of the people that come into the scene now, they want to come into the scene because they want to be known, or they want to come into the scene because they want to be fab. It's not like when I came into the scene, I used Vogan as a stress reliever. I didn't come out into the scene because I'm like, oh, I'm going to become legend. I'm going to become known. I want to be the fabbest girl there. And I feel like that's a huge difference with the people. A lot of these kids, they're not ready for the shit that we went through in ballroom. They're not. A lot of them are not. A lot of them think that they're tough cookies, but when they come into the scene, they get broken down so easily. And I don't want to have to deal with that with some of these kids because some of these kids, they can't take that. They can't. Honestly, some of these kids, they can't. And that's the thing. And that's something about being a parent. You have to get to know what kind of child you're dealing with, what kind of person, or what kind of, not even child, because some of these people are not even kids, but what kind of individual you're dealing with, what struggles they have, what kind of things trigger them. It's a lot that people don't really think about getting to know when you have these people around you all the time. And someone like me, everybody's always looking up to me because I'm like the strength. I'm like the hope. And a lot of times I like to show people my vulnerable side because that happens too. You have to be vulnerable in order to be strong.
Like, amen to that. So let's get into something else. The billboard on 34th Street.
Hmm.
how did the Nike campaign? How did that make you feel seeing yourself on that big, like,
It's unexplainable, honestly. I felt like it was so surreal because when I did the Nike ad, I wasn't supposed to get a billboard. Like that was not talked about. It was only supposed to be a campaign. But when the campaign launched, it became such a worldwide sensation where we won second best billboard worldwide of the week and first of like the US or something like that. So for them, that was major. That was groundbreaking. The fact that it wasn't even a week in and it broke all that. They called me and it was like, listen, we're giving you a billboard. And I'm like, what? They was like, we're giving you a billboard. I'm like, what? Like, I gagged. And it wasn't until going there and actually sitting there in that corner and watching it. And like, in my head, I watched the video so many times that when I was watching it in mute, I was replaying Precious, her voiceover in my head. And I cried because it's such a surreal moment to be celebrated in your own town, like in your own city. And it was about my journey and my community and my culture. It wasn't just about me. And that's the thing about me. I don't want my winnings to be about me. I want it to be about our community. When I win, our community wins.
I love that. I love that. You was running so fast, bitch. I know you run down like that.
No, they didn't even know. Because this is the thing. When we were shooting a lot of those scenes, it was a key to me. Because like the first scene when I'm catwalking in the street, when I start catwalking in the street and you see me with the coat, literally in 2 minutes, the whole, like, the projects, everybody in Brooklyn was out. It was so many people out there behind me, cheering me. It was so, so, so beautiful. And then even that running part, when we sat there and they was in the car and they was like, okay, Leomi, we're gonna do a running scene. And I'm like, okay, but how fast do you want me to run? They was like, the faster you run, the more powerful it's gonna look. And I really like dashed. I hit it. I was like, you know what? You only get once, honey.
It gave Capskin who Mag was behind you.
It definitely
Shout out
did.
to you. How was the Equinox one? How was the Equinox one?
The Equinox was a really, really good experience. One of the guys that booked us for the situation, he got very disrespectful with me. And he kind of gagged because to me, I'm a type of person that when it comes to professional, when it comes to being in professional settings, I expect certain things. And the guy, honestly, he came at me because I got some outfits approved. We were supposed to take still pictures and then we were supposed to do video. But when we got to the day of the shoot, they end up taking out the picture part but not telling us. So when they put me in my first outfit, I specifically asked them before they approved it because I make sure I'm a professional. I specifically asked them, okay, if we're gonna do pictures, I can use this outfit, but if we're gonna dance, I can't use this outfit at all. So we're gonna still have to do two outfits because the first one I can't move in. So the day of the shoot, they put me in the first outfit without telling me that the photo part was out and that they were only going to shoot me in the dance video. So I get in the room and they're like, okay, we're going to get ready to dance, put the music on. And I'm like, well, I can't dance in this outfit. I'm like, I got this approved for the pictures. The guy comes in the room and starts yelling at me in my face. And it was one of Jack's friends. I guess he thought it was Choice. He comes in the room. He hears me telling the people that I can't dance in the outfit. So he comes in the room and he gets in my face and he's like, listen, we're not trying to hear none of that. You're going to have to change to whatever outfit you need to change in to get this video done. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're coming in my face about the mistake that you guys made. And you're talking to me as if it's Choice. That's not how you talk to talent. I don't care who you are. I got so upset and I had to walk away. And I had to think, like, some of these people, they like to paint us in a specific light, especially in that moment. I was there with all the other girls, and I was the most seasoned girl when it comes to being on these sets. That was kind of a thing where I
Right.
felt like he was trying it on purpose. And the fact that, because I'm going to keep it real, I'm a bitch that's keep it 100%. We're going to go down to what happened next. Because Jack was there, so a few people was there. So I get into the dressing room. Jack approaches me about the situation, but instead of Jack asking me what happened, like instead of him just asking me what happened, he comes to me and he's like, "Please tell me what happened because I know it's not what they was telling me." It was that kind of approach, as if they were already talking shit about me. So when I explained what I explained to Jack, by the time Jack went to the room to go speak to them, he noticed that all the staff and all the other people that was working there already had corrected the guy and put him in his place. The man still to this day hasn't apologized to me. These are things that as a professional, I don't have to deal with. I've never had to deal with nothing like
Oh,
this.
don't lay on me. I have the guy. I have the guy right here. Come, she's right here. I'm playing. I'm playing.
I'm
I'm
like,
playing.
bring him. I won't say his name, but bring him because we can address him. But you know what? I'm a
Yeah.
type of person where, some of these people be feeling like, oh, they can stop a girl's bag, and because they're part of certain things that they can stop a girl's bag. That can never happen. What's for you is going to be for you. It doesn't matter who's behind it, who's praying against you. What's for you will always be for you.
You ain't never lied. Amen to that. Amen to that. Shout out to the video. I love the Equinox video. And all the ladies look beautiful.
Hmm.
I like the everybody's element. Y'all definitely said it. Y'all definitely turned up. Y'all definitely turned up.
That was a very good
Y'all definitely turned up like
experience, and they was trying it that day too because they had a schedule of everybody who was shooting what timing, all of that. I was supposed to be like the second person because I was doing dips. That's the most physical. That's the most physical one. We was there for mad hours. Did you know that they pushed mines all the way to the end? I was the last girl to shoot her part. After we spent all these hours, then they had me rolling around in this damn pool.
question. So besides the staff, everybody else, how was it working with all the girls?
That was my favorite part, was being able to work with the girls and to show that we can work together. I felt like a lot of them
Yeah.
came into there kind of like wondering what kind of person I was gonna be. But to me, girl, no, it's not giving that bitch. We here from the same thing, baby. We here on the same pay racket, girl. We here to make motherfucking history. Let's get this happening. And it's I took that time to school some of the girls and to let them know what to look for when it comes to gigs and like sharing that education. That's what it was given.
Shout out to the lady. Shout out to Leomi. Y'all turned that out. That was a beautiful video. Like you said, you've been doing these gigs for a while, but let's take it back to where the world first started seeing you. Um, America's Best Dance Crew.
Hmm.
Like, how was that first performance for me? And the Beyonce one was my favorites from y'all.
Mine too.
How was your experience being? How was your experience being a part of that whole thing?
Being a part of Vogue Evolution and being on America's Best Dance Crew overall, the experience was amazing. I felt like I learned so much discipline when it came to rehearsals, when it came to putting down productions and really putting that work in. Because as a Voguer, I really didn't have much discipline when it came to choreography, putting together putting together productions and certain things that as a group, and being on that show, you learn. And that experience alone was amazing. Learning about the new dancers and connecting with so many different people, that was amazing. I felt like the MTV production, they painted me out to be a bitch because I didn't want to sell my story. I didn't want to give them pictures. I didn't want to talk about my transition. I didn't want to talk about things that to me weren't important. I felt like I was on the show to dance. I was on there to show people what the hell voguing came from. I wasn't there to be like, oh, here, vote for me. I'm trans. Like, I didn't feel like that. And they didn't like that. They didn't like it at all.
So they made you out the bitch. So how did you feel about what little Mama said about you on the show?
I felt like all of that was a setup. When it came down to the actual day that I walked off set, it was the week that we was practicing for the Sierra when I was in the little cage. So when we did the rehearsal, we did a dress rehearsal. The day of the performance, we did two dress rehearsals. When we were supposed to do two dress rehearsals. When we did the first dress rehearsal, they put me in the cage. They had me in some rain boots, some rubber rain boots in that small ass cage. Plus, on top of the rain boots, they spray painted them. So you can only imagine how hard those boots was feeling. I'm in that small cage. When they first put me in a cage, when they first put me in the rain boots, I'm like, first of all, I can't dance in these. Do y'all see what I do as a dancer? I can't dance in rubber rain boots. They paid it. They put me in the cage. I noticed that when I was in the cage, the pressure of the boots in my ankle was really hurting me. So when I tried to do the first run through, I was tripping, one, over the boots. Two, my ankles was kind of like, they was kind of a little numb. So I was kind of gagging. I stopped. I turned to them and I told the wardrobe, I'm like, listen, y'all gonna have to change these. I can't use these to perform. Like, what's gonna give? They looked at me in my face and they told me that's none of their business and I'm gonna have to work with whatever they gave me. I got upset. Because I'm like, how I'm here on this dance show and y'all supposed to be providing me these things so I can be able to perform and do what I need to do, but y'all can't even give me the proper footwear. I walked off set. When I walked off set, they followed me and they made this whole situation as if like I was always missing rehearsals and I was always this and that. And it's crazy because Prince, during the show, he had way more breakdowns and he had way more times where he walked off out of rehearsals than I did. And it's crazy how when they show Little Mama disrespecting me, when they showed the clip right before of the week, of the week of me walking off the set, and it shows that me being over it and all that, and it shows the Vogue Evolution talking about me and saying how they were, they was that they was over it and that working with me was like working on like eggshells and all these things. I never knew that none of that happened because none of them came to me to talk to me and tell me how they felt. They just went behind the cameras and they went and had all these interviews. So as we're preparing to perform, I'm watching the clip and I'm seeing everything that they're saying. I'm seeing how they made the editing and all of that. I gagged. So when we started the performance and we performed, and then little mama went on to disrespect me. Literally, I saw myself because I was in the middle, but I was in the back. So it was me, two boys, and then the two boys in the front. I saw myself pushing those boys out the way and running across that stage and jumping and leaping on that table and carrying. That's what I saw myself doing.
And very Nike, very Nike.
Very Nike, full out, 60 miles per hour.
Yeah. How did you feel that nobody defended you?
I was over it. But you know what? Coming from the ballroom scene and having to deal, and it's sad that I have to say this, having to deal with all the disrespect that trans girls and, we go through from Butch Queens and stuff like that, I didn't see nothing past it. I felt like when I was on the show, after the first and second week of only me being mentioned, Pony was over it. He started putting me in the back. He tried to hide me. He tried to highlight me less. And when the choreographers would come to overlook our performance, they would be like, why is she in the back? Why is she not being highlighted? She's the only girl. Y'all should make her the highlight. But it was crazy how when it came to the stunts, I was good. When it came to the stunts, yes, Leomi, yes, Leomi. But when it came to, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, how come we're not doing this instead of doing that? It didn't matter. Our input didn't matter when it came down to the choreography. And that's something that pissed me off. At a moment, I felt like I didn't want to be there. I felt like I was just filling in a spot and being used to do all the daredevil shit.
So where do Vogue Evolution stand now?
There is no Vogue Evolution. And and if you want to know what happened, I can get into details.
Well, hey,
You here for
y'all here
that?
for the details?
Y'all here for the
Hold on, y'all here for the
details? Y'all,
details?
y'all just start sending
Send us
some
some gifts if
gifts.
y'all want the.
And y'all
Yeah,
want the
send the
juice
gifts.
to Vogue Evolution? What's up? Because I'm the only girl that's ever going to talk about it.
Send some
Yeah,
gifts,
gift
y'all, for me and my
us.
girlfriend Naomi.
Yes, I need a little gift. Send me a gift. Because I'm here for the details.
Send it.
There we
Send it.
go. Send them gifts. They say I got
I
y'all
think I
this
know.
Thursday.
I love Monty. I love Monty. Mind you, I heard some. I heard some of the
Some of
situations
the
though.
juice.
I heard some of
I'm
the
gonna keep it
situations.
real. So I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
it real. After America's Best Dance Crew, I was living in Virginia at the time. So whenever they would book gigs for Vogue Evolution,
There we go.
I would one, either not be told about it, or two, I would be told that the gig was canceled. But when it came down to the promoters, they thought Leomi was coming, and the day before or the day of, Miss Pony would give, oh, she doesn't want to come. She's giving no show. I didn't really know about this until we were supposed to go to Kansas. I was supposed to leave Virginia and come to New York for a trip on Monday. Pony sends me a message and he reaches out to me and he's like, oh, listen, you don't have to come to New York no more. You can just stay where you at. They canceled the gig. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Monday morning, I get up early in the morning and I'm on Twitter and I see that Vogue Evolution is on, well, I see that Deshaun is on his way to the airport. So then I called Deshaun. I'm like, hey, Day, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm on my way to the airport. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, bitch, I'm going to Kansas. I'm like, but I thought the gig was canceled. Deshaun was like, no, Pony told us that you didn't want to come. I was like, wait, what? I gagged. But at the time, me and Pony weren't really speaking either. So it was kind of common for that to happen and me to not have to find out. They got booked because at the time, after a little bit of them giving Leomi's a no-show, the people that were booking, they was like, we still want to see 5 people. So then that's when they started using Vivica and they started using other people as the girl. They went to Atlanta one time and they got booked for this club, and this is how I knew that they was getting booked, and it was behind my back. There was this club, I think it's a club called Miami or something like that in Atlanta. It's a lesbian club that they got booked for. They
I
got
love
booked.
that club.
Okay, so there is a club. Okay, so then
Yeah, they closed it down.
the Butch Queens performed first, and then they had a whole part for the girl to come in, and it was Vivica. So Vivica comes in, and she's from the back, and she starts trying to give the lolly, and she turns around, and the girls notice that it's not me, so they start booing. Gag. Ask me who called me and told me this.
Oh,
I want the people to gag. Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott called me because she wanted to pop up at the club to come and pop up and say hi to me because me and her we started like being phone friends. Me and Missy Elliott have been phone friends for like almost like 12 years now, which is crazy. We've been phone friends for 12 years. We have yet to meet, but we are Kiki girlfriends on the phone. It's so crazy. So she called me and she's like, girl, where are you? I'm like, what you mean? She was like, Vogue Evolution just performed and they got booed on the stage. I'm like, wait, what? And she told me what happened. I gagged. So after finding out about after finding out about Kansas, after finding out about Kansas, I paid it for a little bit, and then we got booked for Canada. This is when it all went down. Okay? So we
did you
got booked
go
for
to Canada?
Canada. No. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't go to Canada.
Okay.
So we got booked for Canada. The girl said, oh, we getting booked. Everybody's getting paid $150 for this gig in Canada. I automatically was like, $150, bitch. We just got out of TV, bitch. Why are we getting paid $150? I was over it. Second thing, we had to take the bus to Canada because 2 people out of the 5 in Vogue Evolution did not have passports. So they wanted us to take the bus instead of flying. No, I was over it. 1, you're going to pay me $150, and then 2, you're going to put me on a bus to go to Canada? Hell no. I called the Canadians. I found out the people who booked the gig. I hit them up myself. I said, hey, I'm so sorry because I already knew what it was given before. So I wanted to call them myself and let them know myself why I wasn't coming. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to come to Canada because the money that you're giving me is not my rate. They asked me, what do you mean? I said, he said we're getting paid $150 each. Girl, the lady told me, that's impossible. We sent him a deposit check of $2,500. And after the performance, I'm supposed to send you guys another $2,500, which meant that it was supposed to be a $5,000 gig for 5 people. That's $1,000 each. So I called Deshaun. I'm like, Day, shit has hit the fan. I'm like, Day, call everybody who has booked you before this and find out how much they paid you. We found out that the girls was being underpaid the whole time.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, that's why Vogue Evolution.
And it always takes the girls to find this out.
Always the girls. I gagged. I'm like, how could you do this to us?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And the crazy thing is that he apologized, but when he apologized to me, it was literally a few years ago, and it was in Canada, which is crazy. We both got booked for something in Canada, and when he first saw me, I haven't seen him in a long time. When this man first saw me, he ran to me and went to go hug me like we was girlfriends, bitch. It gave very like,
And what you gave?
hi pony. That's what I gave. And then I performed. And after I performed, he came to me and he was emotional and he apologized and he said how he was young and he didn't know and da 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 da. To me, it was a little bit too late. I felt like if I wasn't the strong person that I was, if I wasn't the blessed person that I am, if I wasn't such a big loving person and done so good in my life where I'm being blessed, that could have been a downfall for my career based on your own jealousy. You understand? And that's something
Yeah.
that with this community we always deal with that when it comes to the Butch Queens. The Butch Queens is always trying to stop our bag. They always trying to stop our light. And I feel like that's something that it was fucked up to me. It was fucked up.
So there's no chance of reunion at all.
I mean, no.
Because once you're
Well,
legendary, legendary is like what Vogue Evolution, what like you know what I'm saying, like that. That's you can see. I can see that being a spin-off of Vogue Evolution.
it could have been. You know what's crazy? Vogue Evolution could have been so major. I feel like I feel like Pony didn't understand that. The thing about Pony is that Pony wanted to be seen so badly. He wanted that spotlight so badly that he didn't understand what the group was for and what the bigger message and the bigger picture was. And I felt like that's something that I'm sure he's learned. I'm sure he's learned from his own mistakes, but it's a little too late. It is. It's a little too late. I wouldn't even go back to that. I wouldn't even go back to that. That would be so fake of me. I just wouldn't.
Not even for the culture.
No, not for the culture. I mean, I would do a Vogue. I would do a re. I would do a Vogue re-evolution. Now that sounds well over.
So you speak to anybody else besides? I know you and Pony are not. What about Prince, Malachi? I know you and Deshaun are still good Judies. Are you cool with
The
Prince,
only the
Malachi?
only people that I really speak to, that I've always only really spoken to have been Prince and Deshaun. Malachi, we say hi and bye. We never really had a friendship or anything like that, and it's never been shade. And with Pony, I don't have shade against Pony. If I see Pony, I will speak to Pony. The thing is that I have no respect for him. That's a huge difference.
Okay. All right, I understand that. So let's get back to your performance. Who inspired your performance?
There's two ladies who inspire my performance, and that's Alora and Yolanda, the mothers of the mothers.
All right. Um, what's your best battle? Who was your best battle with?
Honestly, a lot of people would say Shadira because she always kept up with me, but I feel like my best battles has always been with Cassandra, my baby. May she rest in peace. Me and Cassandra really brought it out of me. And honestly, when I chewed a pony, that was a battle. No shade. And I wanted that. I wanted that
That was
badly. And that was before Vogue Evolution.
yeah. That was
And to me, that was more so of like, oh, I was a blondic and y'all didn't live for me. Now it's time for me to chew y'all up.
yeah. I love the sentence that night. Though. I love the sentence that night. Did Cassandra ever get you? Cassandra ever got you before?
No, Cassandra never got me. And that's something that me and her always kikied about. Because, you know, when Cassandra first came into the scene, I was one of her first friends, like, that really, really fucked with her. Because, you know, a lot of people, they read her because she used to always Vogue everywhere, or, you know, they read her for different reasons. And I was the person who was like, no, bitch, let's Vogue all the time. Like, me and Cassandra, we grew up together so much. And that's something that people people can learn from Cassandra. Cassandra always been humble. Me and Cassandra have had it out on that floor, but it's never been shade. Cassandra has never disrespected me. It's never been shade. And that's something with me and her, we always used to have a kiki. Every time I would beat her and I would hug her, I would always tell her, girl, I told you that in this story, the student will never beat the teacher. And we used to kiki.
What's a battle you never had that you would like to have?
A battle that I never had that I would love to have, honestly, I want to battle Ashley. I want to battle Sanaya. and I want to battle Alyssa. Those are the gems of Ballroom. I need a piece of them.
No shit. You think you ready for Sanaya?
Baby, y'all be sleeping on me. Don't forget me.
No,
I know how
no.
to do. I know how to emulate all the girls. So I know the girls that can sit down Sanaya that I can emulate and give a ooh ooh. Trust and believe. I'm
I get
ready.
it. No, Leo. You're the
And I
Vogan.
wouldn't even and I
You're
wouldn't even Vogue dramatic for her. That's the Gaga. Remember, y'all haven't seen me Vogue in certain spotlights because when I'm on the floor, I gotta give the full out. I can't sleep. I can't come out there and give them kind. But on a girl like Sanaya, I would take my time. I feel like people would cringe. I would take my time. It would give,
okay.
and I love Sanaya. She's my mother. I love Sanaya. I always have respect for Sanaya. I always have respect for all the girls that paved my way. That paved the way for me. The girls who inspired performance and created it. It's never been like, no, I want to eat this bitch. I just want to be able to say I got on the floor with them. It's an honor. It'll be an honor for me.
All right. What was your best night in ballroom?
Ooh, my best night. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I have so many different moments. I feel like I have moments in ballroom. One of my greatest moments probably was battling Mika. I feel like that performance kind of made people respect me in ways that they couldn't deny it. Watching that video, if you really watch that video, all the people that's like in the front of the stage, they're going up for Mika. They've known Mika for years. They've respected her craft for years. But that performance, after I did that 360 dip, the girls kind of gagged. Like you can see them being gagged and humbling themselves. Like, oh, hold on, nah. Like I feel like that. That's
Hmm.
that's why for me because they were so hard on me. They were so on my back. So that kind of night, it was kind of like I cracked my whip on them.
Right. What are some of the characteristics that you and Wonder Woman share?
Definitely fighting for what I believe in. Women empowerment. I feel like that's something with Wonder Woman that I'm all about. Um, and just being unified, fighting for what you believe in, loving, being caring, being supportive. Also, being that person that puts people in their place because they need to, not because of feeling like empowered or feeling like I'm greater than. It's more so of like, no, you need to hear this shit.
Right, right, right. All right, I like that. I like that because I watched the movie. I watched the movie, and I think it was really good. I was like, I'm like, work, my homie.
I'm here for
I,
justice.
yo, would you ever walk again?
Yes, I'm ready.
Not
You know what?
legendary.
If
If
it
they
was
have
up to
regular,
me, I would be at every function. They would be over me and be like, why is she still walking? If it was up to
they
me. I just can't
they
deal with the
say
shade sometimes because I'm like, bitch, why? I've been in this, y'all still shading me and I've been in this, damn.
they have regular performance, right? And you came to the ball. Would you come out and just really sit there and battle with the girls?
Hell yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do an OTA girl when I battle all these girls, these new girls who think they can rattle dazzle, and because not for nothing, there's no legends that's walking right now that can keep up with the new girls. None of them.
So you could give the you could. All right, yeah, I would like to say. I would like to see it. Do your right? You know how we have our families, right? Like, do your family know that you are like the queen of Vogue, like the Vogan culture, like to the world, you're the queen of Vogan. Do your family know that?
When it comes to some of my cousins, yeah, because social media and all of that. But when it comes to my grandmother, I don't think she really grasps it yet. I be trying to explain it to her. Cause see, when I was younger and I was going to HMI and stuff, and I was spending the night out at clubhouse and stuff, my grandmother thought that I was out running the streets, being, a working girl and doing those things. So when I was going to HMI doing my internships and I would get those little checks. I would try to show her the check stubs and she wouldn't even want to see it, but she'll still try me. I felt like it wasn't until I was on America's Best Dance Crew and I was able to show her, like, look, that's me on TV. That's when it kind of hit her. Like, oh wow. Like I tell
Well,
her
well,
all
I
these
said.
things. Oh, she got her life. She got her life. And when little mama tried it, she was so ready. Like it was such a key. And the thing about them is like she understands why I was so dedicated to voguing and why I was so dedicated to my craft when I was young. Because at first she didn't understand that shit. She used to see me voguing in her living room, and bitch, voguing to these elderly people, it looked like you're just satanic, and you just throwing yourself on the floor, and you just you emoting and stuff. So she used to be like, "What the hell?" So to know that I've made a career out of it, like she's proud of it, but still don't think that she grasps as huge as it is. I don't feel like she has. And when it comes to my family, I haven't had the time to sit down and be like, "What y'all think?" I'll be paying them.
No, because my mother and sisters have an issue. Like if they see anybody that's like trans or gay, they'll be like, Courtney. Like it's like that. I'm like, bitch, I'm not famous. So a question I want to go back on. Did little mama ever apologize to you for that?
She apologized literally right after, but it was not a real apology. This is her apology. This was her apology. I heard that you were offended by what I had to say, so they asked me to come apologize.
Oh wow.
That was her apology, and I read her.
Mm-mm. And mind you, girl, that girl. Mm-mm. So back to off of that. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? Who's your friends in the scene?
I have a few friends in the scene. My best friend is Swiper, as everybody knows.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends. My sister Roxy, Day Day, Paul, Boots. I don't have many friends in the scene, honestly. As long as I've been in the scene, I really don't have many friends that I can say have like endured time. I feel like when it comes to these houses, something that I learned in the ballroom scene, when you are a part of a house, that doesn't mean that those people are really your family and really your friends. Because when I left the house of Mizrahi, a lot of those people turned their back towards me. When I'm left of the houses, people turn their back towards you, and you can tell that they're not there for you for real, for real. So I really don't have many friends in the scene, and I actually don't care to have many friends in the scene. The smaller the circle, the better. The less drama you have to go through, the less bullshit.
Why do people think you're so negative? Why do people think you're so negative?
Because I don't take shit from nobody, and I never have. I'm a type of person that I know my boundaries, and I'm a type of person that once you cross those boundaries, I'm gonna let it be known. When it comes to the scene, I've stayed quiet for so long, and I've allowed these people to continuously disrespect me so much back to back to back to back to back that it got to the point where I'm putting in all this work. I deserve respect. And if you guys are not giving it to me, now it's time for me to take it. I'm gonna demand it. And it came off sometimes as I was being mean because I felt like I didn't have no room to be having to explain shit to anybody or have anything to prove to anybody. And a lot of people, they see those things, and because I am who I am and I have had the accomplishments that I have had, they're like, oh, she has a big head. Oh, she needs to humble herself. She needs to get off the high horse. And it's not that. It's not that I feel like I'm better than anybody else, but I put in the work, and I deserve the respect. And if you're not gonna respect me, then fuck you.
Right. So what's some of your most positive things about ballroom? At one point in time, I didn't love ballroom. I didn't really care for it like that. I used to say I'm not a ballroom girl, but I met a lot of great people, like people I could say that are my true friends. Like shout out to one of my friends that passed away, Scandal, which one of my close friends.
Yes,
That
Mishi,
I
rest
met
in
at
peace.
a ball, you know what I'm saying, like that Dee Dee Lavin, which is a really another good friend of mine that I met
Hmm.
at a ball. So what's some and then meeting so many people and creating so many memories and creating so many bonds with people. What's the positive things that you know that you like about ballroom?
The positive thing I like about ballroom is actually hearing from those leaders who really care, the ones who have like really taken their time to like help the community, like the James Icon and like the Stanleys and like Hector Extravaganza, may he rest in peace. Like some of these ballroom golden tokens in this ballroom scene who have been able to talk to me and to tell me, what you're doing is amazing, and have been able to share that seed. I've dealt with so much negativity in the ballroom scene that I hold on to those people. I hold on to the people who have given me that little bit of spark of light that I needed when I felt like I was in my down. And I feel like that's something about ballroom. Like, although you might come across a lot of shady people, there are people who who will change your life. They will plant a seed in you, and you can see that seed is going to make you grow into a better person. And I love that about it.
I love that. I love that too. So how do you feel like you're one of those people now?
hmm I feel like I
How do you
really
feel like?
am. A lot of times people misunderstand me because of how I can come off. I'm a stern set, you know. I'm a Taurus. I've been having to I fight. I fought all my life. I've had to fight, you know, and to have to be in a community of the ballroom scene, to have to be disrespected so much from people in your own community, like it took a while for me to have to get these hoes off my back. But something that I always kept to myself is, one, you have to stay true to yourself, Leomi. Don't change for nobody. Your authenticity is something that people cannot buy. Two, you must always stay confident in everything that you do, whether it's good or bad. Because a lot of times people stick onto their positivity and they forget about the negativity. It's a balance. It all goes, it all goes in one. And another thing is to stay grounded. Because a lot of these people, they would try to manipulate you. They would try to break you down based on the fact that you have a light in them that they might be inspired by. But instead of them
Uh,
acknowledging that and giving you life for that, they rather dim it. And that's something that I don't want to be that. I came into the scene where these bitches was looking at me like I was a pile of shit just because they didn't know me. Why would I want somebody to feel like that? That's tacky to me. So I made sure that I'm the opposite. I want people to be like, oh, I can approach her. I spoke to Leomi and I actually love her personality. You might not live for her ballroom, but the real Leomi, she's dope as fuck.
right. I live for that. I have another thing that people wanted me to ask you because they like these majority of these things that I'm asking y'all are coming from people that I'm around and we ask these questions to get it together. Um, so you was on Pose, right? How was your experience
Mhm.
with Pose? I know you was one of the choreographers and then you were an actress as well on Pose. How did you like being in that setting?
I loved working as a choreographer on poles. To me, it was so different because I had to do research. I had to go back to the 80s. I had to learn how to really do old way and teach it. I had to learn how to get back to these categories back in the 80s where when I was walking, it was the 2000s. So I had to do research. And that's something that was important for me to even learn about ballroom culture itself, was to educate myself, being able to teach the people and seeing them being so open to learning and being so captivated by the community and captivated by the culture has been so surreal and so beautiful. Meeting Ryan Murphy alone, like Ryan Murphy is the kiki. Every time I see Ryan Murphy, he's like, Leomi, bust your lolly for me, and I have to bust my lolly. And then he'll be like, yes, my day is so much better. Like, certain connections that you make with these people is like so surreal. You would have never thought that, especially coming from the ballroom scene. When I got asked to do the cameo in episode 2, season 1, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, okay, they just probably just want to fill in the spot and have me walk. But it wasn't until the finale that they were like, okay, your character's name is going to be Florida. And I'm like, wait, they're giving my character a name? That means that there's room for a storyline. I would have never thought that. Coming in as a choreographer to go into now I'm acting, that's such a different, it's like a different lane. Basically, Pose added a whole new career to my resume. Who would have thought that? And it's all because of hard work. They see your work. They see your work. It's based on hard work. And that's something that for me, I want people to understand that as long as you work fucking hard, you can achieve anything.
But how is it doing both at the same time? Like you're acting and you got to choreograph at the like because like for me, my job is never done, so I'm always here with like how is that for you? Like when they be like, all right,
It's
you got to
it's
do this
hard
Monday.
because yeah, it's hard because a lot of the times I'm doing the choreography for the ballroom scene, for the ball scenes. So, and I'm at the ball scenes as Florida. So I have to be in between takes, letting them know, like, no, come here, come there, come there, come there. And it's funny because on a regular day, I'm sitting there in sweatpants. You know how we do, all black.
Yeah,
Choreographers do all blacks. We chill. But then I have to be as Florida. You see me all dolled up, and then I got somebody running around refreshing up my makeup while I'm telling the other girl, no, you ain't got your step right. Hit here, hit your mark, hit your mark. It's cool. It makes me feel like I'm working two things at one, but being able to do it, it's an accomplishment. That's something that, it makes you feel like, okay, I can push myself. I don't have to just stick and just do one thing at one time.
Yeah. So another question is I want to ask. You was working when I first did background work for Pose. You was working with Danielle. Y'all not working together anymore?
No, she got fired.
Oh shit. I love her work. Oh my gosh, shout out to her. Are you girls still friends after the show or is clipped? Okay. So you're now a judge on the
I can
show.
explain
Let
if you want to know what happened. Do you want to know what happened? Because I always I like to do the what happens, so it
y'all
doesn't
want to
just
know
seem
what
like a
happened?
shade. If y'all want to know what happened, gift us. We need gifts.
Yeah. Yes. Send us something. Y'all keep acting like y'all don't have nothing. What's up? Send me and my
Gift
girlfriend
us.
something. But
Yeah, send the gifts. They come in. Send the gifts,
Tati, send
baby.
something. You right there, Tati. I know you got something for the girls.
Tati right there. She always up here. She got something for the gives.
Yeah. She legend up
But
here.
yeah, the thing about Danielle is that so after Pose happened, the first season of Pose happened, there was this whole situation where when we did the promo, the people from Pomo and the people from Pose, they're two different teams, right? So
Okay.
when the people from promo booked a choreographer for the promo, they booked this guy called Brian Freeman. He's this white guy who worked with
Oh.
Britney Spears.
Ah,
You live for
I
him?
love yes.
Well,
Yes.
you can live for her work, but let's see what it was given. Because the girls were trying to appropriate ballroom, and this is where the problem came
Okay.
in. He got booked for Pose to
Thank you,
do.
Tati.
He got booked for Pose to do the choreography for the promo. He put together this washed up, this whitewashed Vogue choreography together, not knowing that the Pose team was already going to have me overlook the performance to see what it was going to give for the promo. When
Right.
I got there and I saw the video, I said no. I said we can't use none of this. None of this is Vogan. And they listened to me. When Pose first season came out, Brian Freeman put together a dance competition, and it was like a ball. He was doing the tens, 5 elements of dance. It was like a whole ball. Mind you, the ballroom scene girls started pointing it out and was like, what? What is this going on? Everybody started posting it and they started tagging people. Everybody started tagging Deshaun, started tagging all these ballroom people to let them know that Brian Freeman was trying to appropriate ballroom. Nobody said nothing. So I did. I went on Instagram and I tagged them hoes and I made a video and I'm like, this is appropriation. I went on Instagram, I made a post. This is appropriation. No, no, no. Danielle, instead of her calling me and being like, sis, what happened? She makes a video with the boy that I'm tagging, giving shade. Like, oh, who? Who said what? Baby, who said what? Oh, please. She's like, at least we're doing the right moves. It's not that serious. Like, trying to be petty. Oh, you want to be petty. Let's do this then. I screenshot that video. I put it on my Instagram and I broke it down. I said, see, this is the problem here. Danielle Polanco is one of the main people who is quick to read, point out, to to bring people down who either are inspired by her or who do her moves. Anything that comes down to what she has created, she's very quick to read anybody who's trying to be on that same lane. But now, because your friend is trying to appropriate ballroom and because you're a part of it and you're doing the right move, it's okay? No. First of all, and I put it in the post, I'm like, these are the type of people that come into our community. They learn our craft. They make money out of it. They're not allies to our community. They don't give back to our community. None of that. And that's something that I know for a reason, for real, for a fact, that she does. She doesn't care about the community. She's not a real ally. I've I've heard this girl say so many disrespectful shit out her mouth. It's certain things that I know of her as a person. So for her to cross that line, it was time for the world to see my opinion of her. And I broke it down. I'm like, she's never even walked that many balls. Y'all made her legendary based on her resume outside of ballroom, and y'all been jumping on this girl's horse for nothing. This girl has done nothing for the community, and that's it. And she blocked me, and that's it.
Oh wow. I loved y'all together.
I mean, the good. It was kind
Cool,
of tough. It was kind of tough working with her though. It really was. Like she's not a constructive criticist. She doesn't know how to give. She doesn't know how to give positive feedback. She doesn't know how to. She doesn't know how to speak life into people. And they saw that while we were working on set, and that's why I feel like they didn't call her back for season two. Like it was times where she was on set calling people
okay.
stupid because they didn't get the move. Like it was too much.
Did y'all went to Stevenson?
Yeah, she did go to Stevenson. I think so. No, no, no. She didn't go to
Oh, for real,
Stevenson.
I
She
didn't
went
know
to
that.
Kids Bay. She was in Kids Bay for dance.
Okay. Question. So, all right. So now you're one of the judges on the new show,
Yes, yes,
Legendary.
yes.
Yes. How did it feel? How did it feel? How does it
That
feel?
experience has been so amazing. Honestly, I feel like this is the first time that I feel like I made it in a sense of mainstream. It's so different. It's so different than working on Pose. It's so different than anything else that I've done. Like they treat me like the golden girl. Like it's a whole different situation. Just the experience of meeting all the guests, just working with the judges, just seeing the production, seeing how everything has been put together, watching the show now that it's finished. It's like it's so emotional. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the community. I'm so proud of you guys too, you and the Toro, because the people don't be knowing that y'all be in the back of the, y'all be making sure the girls is hitting their steps, making
Yeah.
sure the girls is in their right parts. Because it's not only Tanisha. The girls don't know that
Yes.
though. So
Yes.
shout out to y'all.
Shout out to me and Toro. Shout
Yes,
out
for
to me and
real.
Toro. Um, and Tanisha and Jordan because we all
Of
were a good
course.
team together. So shout out to Tanisha, Scott, and definitely Jordan as well. I love them. It was a great experience for me as well. Um, what I was gonna ask you, I'm not gonna ask you who's your favorites. I'm not gonna ask you that. The battle when you started crying,
Mm.
how emotional was that for you?
It was really emotional. Well, I cried a few times on the show. I cried when the West went home. Like I boo-hooed, cried when the West went home. They just didn't show it. I cried when the Ninjas went home. I cried when the Ebony had to battle. When the Ebonies went home, I cried. I felt like that moment alone was so. Out of the whole time of the season, I felt like that battle was so passionate. Like you could really feel the passion and coming from the ballroom scene and being able to sit on that chair is still surreal to me. So that moment, it just hit me. It's like, bitch, I worked so hard to get where I am. So I know what it is to be on that side and to be seen and to be able to show the world what you have to offer. And I'm just so proud of the community. It became so emotional to me because I'm like, I don't want nobody to go home. Everybody should be a winner.
Right. I like the show. I hope that some of them like just do you know how you and Deshaun went from Vogue Evolution and y'all continued to work. Y'all didn't win Vogue. Y'all didn't win either. Y'all was even top three. Am
No,
I
we made it
correct?
to top 5.
Yeah, and but then y'all still be able to still
Hmm.
conquer. So those that are on the show that are watching, please do
Don't be
not keep
discouraged. Yes,
voguing,
keep
keep
going.
creating content, keep going, keep giving yourself content, keep taking your gigs here and there. If they feel good to you, build up your resume, build up your platform so you can have this stuff. So when that time comes, you can be in that same situation as Blaine
That's
Hustle.
very true. And send those gifts. Look.
Yeah, all right. So we got I want to ask. So this is we at the end of the thing, but I want to ask you one thing, right? So I'm gonna ask you about some of the legendary performers. Like, can I ask you what? All right, about their performance. Like, what do you like? Not what do you dislike, but what do you like about their performances? I don't
on
actually have
on
nothing negative.
Legendary?
No, not the groups. The film queens.
The legendary, the old school girls or the new girls? Because I really don't know about the new girls.
I'm
I
gonna
really don't. I haven't really keeping up.
I'm gonna give you some
Okay.
names. Deja.
Oh, I love everything about Deja. I feel like Deja's musicality, when it comes to her hand performance, when it comes to the way she moves her limbs and her stretch, the way she slows certain things down, and everything is just so fluid. Beautiful. Miss Deja. Shout outs to Deja.
Christina. So
Christina, I love her floor performance. I love the sex that she exudes on the floor. And I love how stern her ground is. Like when she stands, it's like she's in there. And then when she hits her poses and she breaking it down, I live for all that.
um Sanaya.
Sanaya, I love how sassy Sanaya is. I feel like Sanaya has this sexy and this sassiness, and it's kind of like it's so alluring. Like when she sells it and when she's like giving you certain looks, it's like you really get into it. She kind of pulls you in. I love that about her. She has like a hypnotizing performance.
Alora.
Laura, the drama. I love how much of a daredevil she was. I feel like with Alora, she vogue from the heart. It was straight from emotion. It was all about letting out whatever she felt at that moment. Whatever moment she was in, you felt that. And I love how fearless she was as a performer.
Yolanda.
Yolanda. The most thing I love about Yolanda is her hair whips. Between her hair whips and her little antics, I live for that. Like Yolanda would take her time. She would give you a breakdown and then take her time to put her hair behind her ear before she give you a hair whip into a dip. Like it's just about these little things about Yolanda and just her personality. She has this personality in her Vogue where you can get to learn who she is through watching her Vogue. Like her voguing persona is really who she is.
Mercedes.
Mercedes, mother breakdowns. I love her hands. I love her breakdowns. I love her shimmies. When she break down her shimmies and she be in her shortcuts, I live for all of that. I feel like her hands tell a story unlike any other.
Amina.
Amina, another girl of breakdowns. Something about Amina is that I love her control over her femininity and also like the balance. She has a balance between like old school performance with the new era. And I don't when I say new era, not my era, like the era right before. I feel like she still has that Christina old school way with still kind of like the Alora and the Yolanda kind of balance. Like it's fluid.
Mika.
Mika, she's the queen of pussy dramatics, honey. I feel like she's the perfect blend between dramatics and soft and kind. I feel like all every element of hers is the da da da's. Can't take nothing from Mika. No shade.
Tamara.
Tamara. You know what? I love how Benji Tamara is when she performs. I feel like she gets right down to the nitty gritty, baby. Miss Mama was a bust into a quick spin dip in a heartbeat, baby, out of nowhere. I love how fearless she was too, and I love how it didn't matter who she was on the floor with, she was still going off for her own. It wasn't about like, oh, I have to battle this person, so I'm gonna go extra hard. She performed the same way every single time. It was the same impact.
Um um motherfucking Roxy.
My sister Roxy, that's crazy. Roxy was one of my inspirations too coming into the scene. I felt like Roxy had the most cleanest and most innovating performance when I first came into the scene. She was the girl that was taking performance to the next level. Like I love how clean she is. I love how cunt she is. I love how she can play cunt and then get dramatic in a heartbeat.
Didi.
Didi, those hands. Between her hands and her catwalk alone. Like, y'all gotta really get into Didi. I feel like the girls don't get into Didi in the scene. Didi has these things where she catwalks and then she'll bust into a half spin and look like she's one of the Sailor Moon cunts. and then get back into the catwalk and the performance.
Johnny.
Johnny's, I love how intricate Johnny's is when it comes to her combos. Like Johnny's will give you a nasty combo, and the way her musicality with her combos, that's what seals it. Cause she will eat the beat and the chant at the same damn time.
Alyssa.
Alyssa, the thing about Alyssa that I love the most is how poised she is in her performance, and no matter who she's battling, she will never break out of that. Like she's giving you underwater mermaid kind, very Beyonce in the fan performance. It's giving you just a effervescence of femininity.
Asia.
Miss Asia. Actually, I loved Asia's growth the most because I've known Asia from like the beginning. That's been my sister from the beginning, and I know how shy Asia had. You know, she was very shy from day one. So seeing her grow,
Yeah.
that to me is what I love the most about Asia is the fact that she didn't allow the ballroom scene to change her. She found a way to grow into her own kind. And you know what? She's one of the most sexiest girls out from her generation. And that's something that performance lost for a long time. She brought the cut back. The Queen of the Nile.
Um, Tamaya.
I love Tamaya. Tamaya's performance is so 90s and 2000, like it's so 90s mixed with like the generation that I came out with. It's so poised. I love how confident she is when she's on the floor and she's in her moment. I love how unbothered she can be. Like her attitude on the floor is everything. She gives you, you know, so if you even if you don't live, she's gonna make you feel it like, let me give it to her. No shade. She did that. Then that's what I love about her. She has that about her. It's like she commands that.
Katrina.
Katrina, the hurricane. I love how Benji Katrina is. I feel like with Katrina, she gets down to the nitty gritty. Like as soon as Katrina's ready to battle, she's going off. It's given it's given no holdbacks. And I love how she's grown into her sexiness too. Because for a long time, Katrina was very dramatic, just like me. And then now she's grown into this sexiness. She's able to be sexy, dramatic, and I feel like that shows empowerment and performance for the girls.
Skittles.
Skittles. I haven't really kept up with Skittles recently, but when I knew about Skittles back in like when I was battling Skittles and stuff, I love how Skittles how her performance portrays and how she brings it to the floor. When it comes to Skittles' performance, it's so unique. And I love that about a girl. The fact that she's able to come out there and be empowered in her own lane, that's so fab to me. I feel like a lot of times these girls, they copy, 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 copy. And I feel like being an individual and having that own personality, it's what's going to stick out. And that's something with Skittles, that's what's kept her longevity because she's been able to keep her own lane.
Davina.
My sister Javina, I actually lived for Davina when she was slimmer. Javina used to go off with her young Femme Queen days. I haven't really seen her perform recently. I feel like the last time I seen her was for the 5K. I think that's what the last time that I've seen her perform, but I haven't seen her since she's been a thick girl, so I haven't been able to see her performance. But I love her energy. No matter who Davina is battling, no matter where she's at, how many battles she's had, she's going to give you high energy. She's going to go full out, and that's something that I live for her. She's dedicated to her craft.
Charisma.
Charisma. You know what I live for Charisma? Is her catwalk. Charisma's catwalk is what inspired the Lolly. Me trying to do Charisma's catwalk, you know how she be busting her catwalk and she give you all that? That's how the Lolly started. I had a long weave in one day and I
Oh,
was
for
trying to do
real?
the Charisma catwalk and I started noticing my hair was moving like that. And then I just stood in one place and I started moving my hair and that's where the fuck the Lolly came from. Which is so crazy because
Oh,
when you watch
wow.
Charisma catwalk, you know how Charisma be catwalking and she'll bust into her 1 2 back and back and back and she'll go back. You
Yeah,
get
yeah,
in. The inspirations.
yeah. Barbara said, I thought that came from Jim Brady.
You know, a lot of people think that the Marsha,
Oh my gosh.
Marsha.
Um, um, I know. We're gonna get out of here, y'all. We're gonna get out of here because I know. Wait, what about Mariah Revlon?
Mariah, those hands, baby. Miss Mariah will wash her motherfucking hands in front of you, bitch. She'll get rid of COVID-19 in a heartbeat, honey.
We're gonna we're gonna get out of here. I know Naomi got other things to do. I don't want to keep
Yeah,
her
it's
for
been an
so
hour and a half
long.
already,
Naomi,
y'all.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Everybody say good night to
Yes, thank you so much
Naomi,
for
the
having me.
icon.
Thank you so much. This is really, really dope.
How do you feel? How you feel about being an icon though?
I mean, I took the status. There's nothing to feel. I took it. That's it.
Right.
I did the work and I took the
One more
status.
thing I want to ask you. This is the last thing I want to ask you. What's your favorite when you go? You've been to a lot of countries. What's your favorite country and why?
My favorite country to visit, it's two places. Well, it's three places. I'm gonna say I love to go to Paris because when I go to Paris, I feel like when I go to Paris, they have the closest ballroom scene to America, and they're of color. They know the struggles. Like you can relate to going there, and overall, just Paris is a beautiful place to go. I love going to Tokyo. Japan overall is like a beautiful place to visit. Their culture, learning from the culture, learning their discipline is so beautiful. Learning how inspiring they are and how hardworking they are is so inspiring. And my third place, I would have to say, is Australia. I love to go Australia just for the beach, honestly. The beach out there and the sun, that tan, oh, I need it.